Hello again, traders. Right, I was in the process of editing a picture sent on Twitter by Dinesh, and apologies for this sort of messy looking chart now. As you can see, I was editing it. Dinesh was on about or mentioned about missing potential trades because the 3CR would be quite late, as it were, big candles. So as you can see, I started annotating this and was going to post it, but it doesn't really answer the question to the fullest extent, because in the answer I mentioned line chart 3CRs, and I have sort of kept away from those because I realise we've constantly having new people coming onto my Twitter feed, and it really does complicate matters. We've got 2B reversals, we've got the 3CR, we've got what I now call the line chart 3CR, and I will explain the difference in a moment. And we've got the RSI histo triggers, we've got the dragon, which is just for easy visual aid of trend reversals, trade when you've broken above the dragon, the 34 band of EMAs, etc., and so on and so forth. So I can trade naked candles using 3 candle reversals, and especially now with the line chart, I can trade a line chart without candles even, almost. So let's get back to, but the indicators help us, and especially now the RSI histo. I would say actually it is a real toss-up between the 3CR and the momentum indicator, in this case the RSI histo, but you can use the old-fashioned line one, or if you prefer any other momentum indicator. But I've aligned the RSI histo triggers with my 3CRs, and that combination is, in my opinion, well, for me it's the ultimate goal. Never say never, I might find something else, but as it stands, the TMA slope is good as well, because that tells you the angle of, just make sure you're in a strong angle with momentum. So that works for me perfectly well as well, but I don't talk a huge amount about that. Anyway, back to the point of this. So Dinesh mentioned this one, we would have missed the trade. Well, 2 or 3 things to note from that. These bigger bars, the bigger reversals, are the worst possible entries you can consider. So as I've said here, use the lower time frame to look for a smaller bar, which on this time frame, I didn't even check what time frame we're on, but on this time frame, that's a small reversal, good. That's a horrible reversal, and as you can see, it bounced because it's a big bar. You want to be entering here because your stop should be here. So you need a small candle like that, the stop should be there effectively, and as you can see, you would have been protected above the high there, even from that big spike there. Wow, it's throwing it down outside, which is why I'm sat in studying charts and making videos. So we'll get off this diagram in a moment. I'll just run through what I mean. So here I've written use lower time frame, which I just talked about, or you can look at the strat. You've got a 1, 2, 3, a 2, 1, that's an inside bar, 2 reversal, and I think they enter on the break of the inside bar high. But we could use the RSI momentum triggers and lower time frame 3CRs. But if you're desperately hunting for trades, then you need to be a little bit careful. This one I've annotated as an engulfing 3CR. There's that's not an inside bar, but it's a penultimate low, ultimate low, and then we've closed above the high. That's an engulfing entry. So watch the lower time frames at this point to enter once you get a lower time frame 3CR or RSI trigger. RSI momentum precedes price, remember, so that's why the 2 things are fantastic. You could get an M1 3CR up with massive momentum. That would be good enough to get you in that trade. The other thing I'm talking about is line chart 3CRs. Well, the line chart means we can disregard the wicks. So this close could be taken, if you had a line chart on here, this would be the line chart high, and that's closed above it, clearly broken resistance. That's what I mean by line chart 3CR. So you can either switch to your line chart, which is the 1 EMA on your charts, the 1 period EMA, or you can just look at where you have your flip zones, in other words your battlegrounds, your supply and demand areas, where they've fought, pushed up, pushed back, pushed up a little bit, pushed back. So you can clearly see, you could draw a line there and we've closed above it. Fantastic. Not the same situation over here, I don't think, but this one would have been good for the line chart 3CR, as it were. There's the high, there's the area I'm talking about. Disregard the wicks and you've got your break and close, and boom, up it goes. So what do we got over here? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 lower high 3CR, use the close below the body. So basically, once again, you might not have closed below the wick there. I think in fact you did, but if you're taking the 3CR rules, this, if you use Aaron's indicator, this would be an internal 3CR. That's the external one, that's the penultimate, that's the ultimate high. A break below there, the close below there, would have been your 3CR, which is why Dinesh probably highlighted this as a bad possibility. But we can use the, that's a failure to make a new high, which is what a 1, 2, 3 lower high is. And then we've closed below the body here, and in fact that body there of the penultimate candle. So all the support, effectively, except this weak support level, the wick, which is why I'm moving towards being a bit flexible on the 3 candle reversals. But when you begin these things, it's best to learn the wick breaks and how they affect price. But once you've got your sort of more experience with how price moves, then you can start to apply a little bit more logic. That spike was nasty, but having said that, you don't enter just based on this close. You drop down to the lower time frame, watch the pullback, wait for the pullback to come back into alignment. In other words, your ducks in a row. So you wouldn't be waiting for this close, you would be waiting for, if this was M5, say for example, you'd be waiting for an M1 3CR down with the RSI histo momentum. Remember, the best 3CRs are the ones that coincide with momentum, the 3CR triggers that we have, the 3 triggers. Use YouTube search on my channel for the 3CR triggers. Other traders have made this, Brian and Peter as well. I'm sure they've clarified a few of the triggers for you as well. So don't forget to watch their videos, they're fantastic, and thanks both of you guys. And this one, yeah, I've mentioned this before, this is just a bad one, that's all there is to it. You want to be getting in to the meat and potatoes of the moves. You're always going to have problems, but you would have been protected from getting into this move by that watching the reversals. It never reversed to the downside on the lower time frames. It wouldn't have got you into a false trade. But I always want to be getting in here and getting in down here. This is a 2B reversal here, and you want to be watching the lower time frames. I didn't even check what pair this was, but there's some seriously nasty spikes on this, so it's one I would probably avoid anyway. So yeah, hopefully that's helped. If we look at the charts now, I will go over the line chart reversals because we've talked about them. What I mean by that is that's a 3 candle reversal there. This is just literally off the cuff, this particular chart here, GA. Didn't cherry pick it. But let's try and find an example of a decent line chart 3CR. Well, I'm not going to go into find one that worked and didn't work. I'll just talk about the line chart 3CR. So basically, this is what we're looking at, a break of that. So I'm going to call this video line chart 3CRs. So there may be wicks there. I didn't even look on the candlesticks, but I'm just using the line chart as the example. If there's wicks there and you're waiting to break across above the wick, then you may well get one of these big candles and an impossible entry. But if you're waiting for a candle to close above the line chart, then you may well get an earlier entry. Sadly, in this instance, this candle here didn't close above there, but if it had closed 1 or 2 pips above that line, and I need to put a thinner line on here actually to be more precise. I'll do that right now actually. It's still sweltering over here, so you might be able to hear my fan in the background. Apologies for that. What am I doing? Not concentrating. There you are. Tiny, that's a much better line on there, but it's still not going to make any difference to our analysis. So, but what you can then do, and I haven't checked this on the higher time frames, is if you move to the higher time frame, and this is still a work in progress, which is why I haven't put too much attention on line charts. This one didn't work, but that high could well have been brought down lower. And what I mean by that is, let's suppose in a hypothetical world that line chart high on the H1 was now down here. We will try and find an actual example in a moment. Then an H1 should be broken by an H1 candle, which would, there you are. So that H1 candle above there, whilst it isn't above the high, the wicks high, and hasn't closed above that, in this hypothetical example, which I know isn't real, if that little point there was actually lower where our line is, that would be a 3 candle line chart reversal. I hope that is clear. I wonder if we can use this one as an example over here, so try to clarify things. Let's go on the 30-minute. No, that's not going to work as well, because we can see the wick is quite large there. So if we bring that line down to that level there, and then we drop to the H1, we'll probably find that is still a line chart high there. H1, no, this one's perfect. So let me zoom in. Now you can see what I'm trying to explain. That high is what I call a line chart high for the purpose of a 3CR, line chart 3CR. Now if we go to the candles, you can clearly see we would be waiting for a break through the high, the wick, which is behind that line there. But we don't have to. That H1 close above that line chart level has actually, you can see it's clearly affected what price has done, because we've broken some sort of level here. This whole supply and demand area, the line chart close, which is the close of price, as you can see on these candles, close, open, close, open. So close, open, close, that's a doji, and then open of the bar and down it goes, and the 3CR and all that lot. But here, you know, here's sideways, and then finally we have new momentum come in, and you know, I will happily take that as a potential entry. So that is a line chart 3CR. I know we had this internal 3CR here, and we did have a 3CR over here as well, which doesn't show on the chart because there's the lowest low, but that will be the settings on Aaron's indicator, but that I currently use. But you can, you know, you have to play with the settings on the indicator. In fact, I might as well do that here, then I've killed 2 or 3 birds with one stone. So I've got it set to all sorts of funny permutations on here, but if we show, we change that to true, only show the initial, but we have the internals, I think it shows both. Nope, we haven't got the initial one on there, because that should be that high there showing. Let's take off the internal, and you will see probably that one disappear. This might be, I'm hoping this doesn't go over time, this video. So track inner reversals, allow inside bar. Let's change that one to true as well, because I tend to put them all at true and then play around, see what that shows. Nope, still not got that one there. Indicators list. Apologies for this, guys, if it's not, if you find it boring, but it is worth doing. Track inner reversals, we'll take that one off. And it's still not showing us that one. Oh, we've got none on there now. Ah, there we go. There we are. That's what I was trying to explain. So now we've picked up this main reversal right down here, but I've digressed a ton, I know that. Line chart 3CRs, that is the important part of this video, and just answering Dinesh too. But so what have we got going on here also is worth mentioning. If we're entering here because of the line chart and the RSI histo that I absolutely love, anyone that doesn't use it, I think is missing a hell of a lot of tricks. And then, you know, we're going to have obviously some sort of problem at that level, 18 pips above, and you can see, where is it, there, probably there, you can see price hit it and used it as a important level. So we put a new level on there, you will see, look how price has respected that test area there, 5 or 6 candles. I mean, it's just crazy. Why I love price action. So instead of having to wait for this to break and close, we can get in on the line chart, and that's the point of this video. So thanks for watching, have a great day.